We gonna get started. Hey, yeah. Podcast. The Porch
I can already
Podcast.
see what's getting ready to
Porch
happen, man.
Podcast. We gonna see what's happening. What? The Porch Podcast. Porch
Come on.
Podcast, episode 96. Influential is here, and we back in the mix. We playing with the tricks, talking about the cereal and the Eves for the kids. Let's get back to the biz. Influential is the illest, and you know who I'm is. I'm sitting here with P original. We back to the mic, yo. Let's flow. Let's go. I'm back to the dough. Back to the mo. Me back to the money. Stuff real funny. Porch Podcast. Everybody know it, honey. Know why? Why? It's the Porch Podcast. Come on. It's the Porch Podcast. Yeah. It's the Porch Podcast. Come on. What? And it's the Porch Podcast. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Welcome to the Porch Podcast. Welcome to the Porch Podcast. It's your boy DJ E, Mr. Influential, and I'm rocking with my brother, man.
Be original, baby. What's
Yes,
going
sir.
on?
Yes,
What's going
sir.
on?
Yes, sir. Let's go. Let's go. What's going on is this is episode 96. Episode 96, y'all.
Yeah. Number 96, and we rolling, man. We rolling right along. Like y'all know how we do, man. Y'all know how we do.
Right.
Get right
Right.
into it. Hey, man.
Yes.
How's your week been going so far, brother?
Oh, week's great. The week is great. I recently, we didn't talk about this last episode, but I recently just came back from Houston, Texas. Had a great time.
Okay.
Great
okay.
time. Great
Okay.
time. Let's clap it up.
Absolutely.
know.
Fantastic. You know what I mean? Anytime you can go and come back, it's a successful trip.
Successful is the answer. Yes, it is. Yeah.
That's it. So what went on, brother? If you don't mind me asking, man. I know last time when you went to something, you watched what was his name from Martin? I can't think of the security name. Uncle Otis.
Otis. Oh, last time you talking about I was
Otis,
just
he was pop locking and going through it.
I
Did
took
you
a little
drive
I took
or did you fly?
I flew. I ain't
Oh,
driving to Houston now.
okay.
Yeah.
I've just,
You
I
know,
was just
only
asking.
if anybody who wants to ride to Houston though, you can actually recruit a good powder ranger and they'll take you. They'll take you out there. Yeah, a good powder ranger will take you out there. Any day of the week, man. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Now it may take you 2 to 3 times as long
Right.
because it's a whole different that's a whole different kind of fuel.
Yeah.
That they're gonna need. You got
No,
petrol and then
their
you got the
fuel
other
is
thing.
going to be powder and 211. As me and Goose would
what?
like to look at as scrap it, rapid roto fuel.
Yeah. Welcome to episode number 96, man. We ain't gonna start y'all off like that. We gonna get right into it, man. Hey,
Yes, sir.
I'm sitting there watching this, man. I mean, I know, I try not to be in all the tabloids and all that stuff, and all of the the crazy media news and stuff. It's got a lot going on right now, man. Got a
Right.
lot going on right now, man. I seen something recently. What's on a friendlier note, though? Do you remember? And I know you do, because you for you few years afterwards, you actually thought you knew martial arts. You remember the Karate Kid, right?
Danielson.
Right.
Funny
Right.
thing
Well,
is, I'm really Mr. Miyagi. So,
Okay. And that
Yeah.
and here's the thing. I can support that because you
Right.
definitely are a master at something.
Right.
One of them is disguise.
Yeah.
But we're gonna stick with what's going on with the whole martial arts thing.
Let's get
Right
to it.
now, man, if you wanted to actually rent the Cobra Kai house and use it as your dojo, you can rent that joint right now for $2,300 a night, man. So I'm just saying that to you to let you know, bro. If you wanted to go out there and you just wanted to go ahead and relive your past, a couple spin dragonfly kicks or something like that, you can do it, man. In the actual Cobra Kai spot, man, $2,300, man.
So somebody put it on an Airbnb or something?
I say, I guess they Airbnb in it, man. It's the
Wow.
world we live in right now,
Yeah,
man.
nah,
It's
that's
the world.
dope though. That's kind of dope because people
Yes.
would actually love to do that. You know what I mean? You actually rent. I can see people actually renting. This was the if it was recorded at an actual place. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like,
Right.
okay, like one of our favorite shows was the Woo Show,
Right.
and season 3 is coming. However, they said outside at a house that the RZA, the RZA and his brother's house. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That was the
Was
real crib.
that was the real porch? But once you went inside, it was like a studio. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
outside on the porch, that was the real steps.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question: if that was the case, if you lived in there in the real house, because
Right.
apparently, the reason why it was shot in the studio, well, for a number of reasons. First off, better production, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Second of all, people probably weren't comfortable with you coming in and, you know, shooting, a show inside of their home.
Right.
Listen, it's an assumption. I don't know for certain,
Yeah.
but if you lived there, would you have allowed them in there?
Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah,
Because
I don't think so either, man.
when you gotta rearrange yourself for them to do a show and everything, and not even though I love the arts, I love people recording reenactments and all that. I love that type of stuff, but I don't want to move out my house or be out the house for somebody to get that image when there's so much technology out here. And let's
Right,
be honest, the people on the other end that's watching really don't know and kind of really don't give a damn.
right. Like
You
you
know what I
don't
mean?
really need it. You don't really
No.
need it to capture the essence of it. I got you.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean? So you could, if they would have never said it, it wouldn't even have been a thought
It
for
wouldn't
people
have
to
been a
really
thought.
probably
Yeah.
think about.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
nah,
that's
I
that's
get it.
why I wouldn't mind. I don't mind the front porch thing because you outside.
Exactly, like us, the
Yeah.
porch. You know what I mean?
Hence the
Even
porch.
even
Like
though
we.
even though we ain't really been on the porch in a while, but it's getting
Well,
cold.
it's funny
It's getting a
when
little
we.
chilly.
It's getting a little chilly now, but it's funny because I did at one time think about knocking on the door of our old house and just asking, like, "Yo, can we shoot this episode on this porch?" I
Right.
thought about it. I really
Yeah.
did. You
Yeah.
know.
Uh, well, ain't nothing wrong with thinking about it, brother. It's a consideration. It's funny though, talking about this situation with this Airbnb thing or option for the Cobra Kai place.
Right.
It made me think about something else that we were talking about recently, man, and how it seems like after everything transpired with the pandemic situation, it's a lot more. We live in a gig economy as well. That's
Right.
now part of our regular regimented thing. But on top of that, man, you got a lot of people, and I was telling you, a lot of people that I'm dealing with right now, man, who are like at full swing with their thinking caps on tight.
Right.
This is a really, really creative time for people, man. I'm seeing people, man, and speaking to people who are doing things, not that I feel like was beyond them, but things that, they're just acting on a lot of those different things that they had, put on the back burner for so long.
Right.
And and it's various different ages. It ain't everybody that's a little older. It ain't everybody that's younger. I think that this last experience that we just had with this pandemic situation really shook up the mindset of a lot of people, man.
Right.
I really think it made people, like I said, whether you're a celebrity, whether you know what I mean, you're a regular person, however you want to refer to people who are not celebrities and sports figures and all of these different things. It made people have to become very, very good at relying on their self sustainability.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
so so you got people who never returned back to offices. You got people who never went back to actual, physical buildings and locations. They're now working from home. Some of them left their jobs. Some of them, now have that and their own, businesses and different things of that nature.
Right.
And I just think that sometimes when we go through things that is life altering, you have moments where you really start to see people, collectively start to shine. And I think that even with everything that's going on in the world today that seems, a little twisted, little out of sorts, I'm just glad to see that people are really, really tapping into their greatness and really trying to tap into, doing the things that they were created to do. And
Well,
it's not
we
just a necessity based move situation. You know what I mean? It's nice to see it, at least
right.
for me.
But I think a lot of people. I think a lot of it starts necessity based. Um, even if we don't know it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Because I think what kept people from being creative a lot of times was being comfortable. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
I
Was being
agree.
comfortable. But we've all heard the terminology, and a person like Steve Harvey speaks on it a lot. Um, you got to take a leap of faith, right? Jump out there in the
Yeah.
deep end and put it all what you got. Like the problem is a lot of people have that issue of just doing that on their own. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you know, that's like a person who can't swim. They ain't just gonna run and dive in 8 feet, man. They just not gonna do it.
Right. Because fear and ability
Yeah, they
don't
can't. They
allow
can't be
you,
together. Right. You
right.
can't do it if you're scared. But
You,
like Will Smith
right.
said, and I seen in an
Yeah.
interview, he made a statement in an interview. All our dreams are on the other side of fear. Now,
Right. I agree with
what
that.
happens is once you do something that you have the fear of, and you do it over and over, you no longer have the fear. It just now has you move in a certain way. So I think a lot of it started by necessity,
Hmm.
and everybody knew if I don't swim, I'm gonna drown. Basically, you know what I mean. Let's even think. Sometime the premise of this show came through of necessity, after necessity, like a theory of man, I got to know my next move. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Exactly.
And that and
Exactly.
that's and that's just what it
Exactly.
is. You know,
Yeah.
and we all have those moments. I think I think we just noticed it more because if anybody ever pay attention, I can't really remember the one in 2010, but I'm sure I know what it was. Now I know what it was. Every time a new decade starts, something changes us to put us in a different thing. It's just been the way of life. You know what I mean? Um, I'm not gonna go all the way back to 1990. I'm gonna start at 2000. You know,
Hmm.
Y2K. We were
Hmm.
we were threatened that the world was going to be over. You know, but the truth of the
Hmm.
matter was, it was the end of the world as we knew it. You know what I mean? We was getting ready to go into this age of certain things, but as kids, it didn't affect us as much. I mean, I'm still going to say kids because I was 19, but it wasn't like
Right. But you
like
have clear
right,
recollection of it. You were old enough to
right.
remember
Yeah,
everything
that's
you
what I'm
talking
saying.
about.
But what I mean, no,
Right.
what I mean as a kid, like it didn't affect because we just going out into the world, so you don't understand
Right.
what things. It's like having a kid. They got a job. They're making money. They're saving money, and it's easy for them to save money because they don't have real responsibilities. Then once they get
Yeah.
responsibilities, they
Yeah.
don't understand that changes. Damn, what was easy? I used to be able to save $1,000 in 2 weeks. Now I can't do that in 2 months for some people. You get what I'm saying? I'm just using that for an example. But in
Yeah.
2000, it was Y2K. In 2010, it was a recession. Once the housing
Yeah.
market crashed in '08, the big short, we was really feeling a lot of the effects of that in 2010.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Now,
Hmm.
in 2020, it was COVID. In 2022, you're seeing the reactions, and now you're really seeing the fruit of the harvest. The harvest of everything that was planted. In 2020, people started to plant a lot of seeds because life changed for them.
Right.
They were losing jobs, like you just said. Some people never went back to the office.
Yeah. Yeah. But I
You know
like
what I
what you're
mean?
saying. It makes
Yeah.
sense to what you're saying.
Every beginning of every decade is always something. If you look back, hindsight, like we said all the time, is 2020. When you look back, you can say you can find something. The point of the matter that I'm making is, it's not just the top
Yeah.
of every decade. It's always something.
Yeah. It's always something. And bruh, to add what you said, that Will Smith statement was about, your success being on the other side of fear.
Your dreams on the
If
other
you,
side of fear. Yeah.
I'm okay. My bad. My
Mm.
bad. Your dreams are on the other side of fear. I'm gonna say your dreams, right? And the success of those dreams,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I'll do a little bit of a little add on to his statement. It makes sense for you to make the statement about '08 and then the effects that transpired in 10, as much as it makes sense about right now, 2020, and the effects that you're seeing in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Your dreams are on the other side of fear, right? And I'm saying success as well. So in that 2 year window, the first thing we had to go through was the fear of of the unknown, right? We didn't know what these things were going to. The housing market situation, we didn't know. The crisis thing is, I mean, not crisis, but the pandemic situation. We didn't know how it was going to transpire. Once
Mm-hmm.
we got past the fear element of it,
Right.
this is what we're seeing now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I agree with you. It's so funny that, like I said, another one of the things that I had, I've been, one of the people, man, I'm consistently researching. I was telling you about, saw this video on YouTube. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but it was talking about, like, how there's, 7 signs or something that you can tell that, God is getting ready to bless you.
Mm-hmm.
And in the situation dealing with that, I'm listening to it, and, he speaks to the fact of understanding that there's going to be certain derailments that come your way. Certain people are going to do things. There's certain, the devil, depending on how you believe and feel about religion and things of that nature, is more prone to attack when you are living in the greatness of who you are, right? Or pursuing that greatness, and now you're focused.
Right.
So for every step and every piece of something that you take off the table that is, in conflict to your growth, you gain strength, right?
Right.
So for
Mm-hmm.
every piece of fear that started to dissipate as we were going from 20 to 2021 to 2022, as each piece of that fear, we became a little bit more educated. We began to understand that we needed to separate fear from fact,
Mm-hmm.
right? How much of it is inside of my mind based on what I'm being fueled to think, and how much of it is reality, right? Now, I'm not saying to question everything in life. I'm just pointing out that this video, which is a bunch of videos out there, points out that even when you're growing,
Mm-hmm.
in those moments are when you're going to be, attacked by the devilish element of things that's in this world. So for some of those people who left out of 2020, who were punching the clock, going to a physical location or whatever they were doing, who now independently work for themselves, they had to go through the same fears as everybody else who returned to it. The difference is that once they came out of the other side of fear, they kept on moving forward.
Right.
And now they have, what they have. So it's just one of those things I wanted to kind of tie into that. But my
Right.
question to you
Right.
is
Mm-hmm.
can you ever recall, and I don't want this to become something, oh, we're trying to make it, super religious situation, but do you ever recall,
I don't care
like,
if we do that or not. That don't bother
yeah,
me.
nah, I got you. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, it's more like sticking with the concept of realizing your growth and the challenges that come along with it. Can you ever recall a time where you can pinpoint right now that you felt yourself being approached by I can say opposition to your growth and development, recognizing it and making adjustments? Can you ever pinpoint a time, like, you were on your way up, or you were focused on this, you were locked in, and you can literally say, wow, I look back, and at this point, this is exactly what took place, that I know that if I had not gotten away from that, things would have not have developed.
Um. I guess. I guess. I guess I understand your question. 'Cause I see how you trying to at what you asking, bro. That's all the time.
Okay. Okay. And that
I
could be the
mean,
answer. Yeah.
like, if especially when you don't just punch a clock.
Mm-hmm.
See, punching the clock. The term job was when I seen on a religious show one time. I can't remember who said it. Pastor said this. The term job stands for just over broke.
Mm-hmm.
To keep give you enough just for you to keep coming back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know they give you the same amount of money every 2 weeks, and only other way you make more money is if you work more. But even if
Mm-hmm.
you have your own business, you still are sitting there with you're still trading time for money. The only difference is when you're doing something that you love to do, it doesn't feel like work. You know what I mean?
Right.
Part of
Right.
it though, because the other part of it to have a successful business, when you're dealing with numbers and understanding and know that okay, I can't take this gig, or I need to do them speaking on me, or I need to do this gig because if I don't, I'm not going to reach my goal of sales for this month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And these goals of sales are actually detrimental for me to actually be able to handle my expenses and make some type of profit of all this time that I put in. So to answer your question, yes, all the time. But I'm gonna just say in particular, most recent got to be 2020 with me because
Okay.
my business is a business that required me to go different places and do different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And COVID stopped the movement of
Mm-hmm.
people. And I think even now, when we sit back, you know, um, it all makes sense. Like what we was just talking about, dreams on the other side of fear, and that might have been the element of push once they got it. Well, when fear is really, really embedded, the reason why you get that success later is because fear, the time of fear, is good soil. That's when you
Right.
plant your seeds.
Right.
So another thing that goes with fear is respect. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
everything is like when they tell you fear God, that's a reverential fear where you respect God. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the truth, because you got to really think about it. They don't want you to be scared of something that they want you to worship. They want you to respect it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So at the same
Right.
time, it's like you respecting yourself. You know. So
Yeah.
when things are really going where they're going, when fear is really embedded in the world and on earth and in this country and your state and your city and everything, that's what good soil is set for you to be able to plant your seeds and be able to grow. So you have to handle it correctly though. You know
Right.
what I
I
mean?
agree.
You
Yeah.
have to handle
Absolutely.
it correctly, and you have to, and it's not a big time with it. So I'm not even going to use me being a DJ, but I'm gonna talk about the stock market. The market was so low during 2020, and the market still goes up and down. Let's see everybody. Oh, it's a big crash. Even though when that situation had crashed on certain people and all that, that was a given. That's what everything is based upon. That's just a form of currency in the market. You get what I'm saying? So
Gotcha.
when media makes you fear, like, oh, everybody pull out, this is doing that now. No, that's when it's time for you to get ready to buy. Plant the seed because it's dropping.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
anything else. You got to know when to hold, know when to fold. Perfect example. I don't know what the numbers is today, but I was just playing around on Robinhood a little bit back in 2020, and I think MGM was about $16 and some change for a share.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought 3 shares. You know what I mean? At $16 and some change. You know, simple math. What's that? 38? No, $48. Something like that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, today, each share is probably worth about $34.
Right.
So they doubled.
Right.
But the reason during COVID, and just to make my point, during 2020, when nobody was traveling, and MGM Grand is known to be a travel place because of Vegas. I mean, and they got hotels. They dropped their shares so much, so it was good soil.
Absolutely.
So let's just say I was a person who had enough money to buy 1 million shares back then, and now they all doubled now.
Right.
2 years, I made a fortune. If you're doing it with the money wise, instead of people using money, they use their abilities. They went on it. Listen, what's the worst it could get? Let me try it now. I got all the time in the world because COVID gave us time.
Right. True
It gave us
riches.
time to do things because we were no longer as distracted. That's why I hate to say it, but things like that always happen. It gives us time. And
Yeah.
again, not to get real religious, like we said, but in the Bible states, through tribulation, that's how you enter the kingdom of God. Again, entering the kingdom of God is your higher self, your highest self. So that's why you're seeing all that now, bro. You know what I
Yeah. No,
mean?
I agree. I think so. I
That's
mean, I
that's why you're
think.
seeing all that now. It was a given.
Nah. Bruh, it makes all the sense in the world, which is also the reason why, and I think I feel this way because nuances are only viewed that way by people who have never experienced it, right?
Hmm.
Because like I could do something and a person could go, "Wow," you know what I mean? Who taught you how to do that, or how'd you learn how to do that? And it could be like, I learned this as a child. And like I ain't never seen nobody do that, so it's new to them, but it's not new to you, right?
Right.
So some of the things that take place in the world, you have to ask the question: what is it really attached to, right?
Right.
So like you got the behaviors and different things. Like we'll talk about, and we've talked about this, before, whether it's Kanye West or other people who seem like they, lash out in opportunities when they're in front of a camera, whether we respect it, think that it's something, disturbed about him or whatever. Everybody is living in the world and time that is different. Like that's the one thing we all have in common is that we all live in the same time period. Like there
Right.
is no I'm living in the future and you living in the past. I mean, you can conduct yourself that way, but physically we're all living in the same time period.
Right.
So sometimes, when you're in certain situations, there's things behind the scenes you don't know. Recently, um, I know that Kanye was on Drink Champs, you know,
Right.
and he shared his feelings about how he felt about not having celebrity friends or who we would call true celebrity friends because he went through something with the situation with his kids
Mm.
and they didn't help him. You know what I
Right.
mean? So he started, lashing out at specific names and saying things that, that were, I guess emotionally he was feeling at the moment. And it was the weirdest thing because after it all took place, Nori did a couple different I know it was on the Breakfast Club and he did something else where he felt like he kind of wished he didn't, not my words, it's kind of what I read.
Mm.
And in hindsight, he wouldn't have allowed that to take place on his show.
Right.
Right? Because that's not his brand. That's not what he does. You understand what I'm saying? Like with us, like everything is based on, since we're talking about like growth and development and going to the next phase of it. I'm a firm believer that everything that you do should be in alignment with what you're, attempting to make your brand or who you are or what you're projecting yourself to be. Right?
Absolutely.
So, so in a case where Nori and the Drink Champs are a highly successful podcast show, for the host or one of the hosts to come back and feel like, whoa, even with clearing the stage and allowing Kanye to be in his human form and respond the way he did, he kind of wished that he would have, intervened in that or came at it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
Started thinking about different things in life, man. I know me and you had a conversation recently about canceling people. And
Right.
you said something that was really, really, really good. I didn't even think about it till you said it. You was like, "Hey, P, what does it really mean to cancel someone?"
Yeah. Put that at the bottom. Put that in the comments. Let us know really what it means to cancel somebody. I mean, everybody's saying, how many times have we said we're going to cancel Kanye, but we continue to. And I'm listen. I'm not here to cancel anybody. I do
Right. We're
believe
not
in America.
advocating for any of that. Right.
Yeah, the freedoms. Whatever you want to do is what you want to do. But my point
Hmm.
is, you do that. We say that. Another album comes out. Going to listen. Person goes to number one. It don't just got to be Kanye West. It could be anybody. And goes on another interview. You're going to watch it. Cancel is you don't see them.
Right.
You don't even acknowledge what they're talking about.
Right. Right.
That would be my opinion of it.
Right.
So if that's just a new word to use, then that's what it is. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, if you canceling something like, listen, I'm a DJ. Somebody done called me. Hey, the event's canceled. That means the shit's not happening.
Right.
I
Right.
don't understand.
Right.
I don't understand nothing
It
else.
ain't that DJ E been canceled.
Yeah,
The whole situation's been canceled.
it's been canceled. So I'm trying to understand. You know what I mean? Like I'm just saying when we say we gotta cancel, like it just sometimes people make statements and it just sounds good and everybody flows with it, right?
Yeah.
They just all flow with it. We gonna cancel him. Yeah, so then his next show is next week. So what are we doing? Like I'm trying to
Right.
figure out.
What are you talking about? Like you know why
To
it's easy to
cancel the
cancel?
man, and I'm not saying I agree with any of his statements. Let's make this clear
Nah,
because
nah.
he's speaking
Absolutely not.
on what he's speaking on.
Mm-hmm.
I think just what it is, we expect a different thing from Kanye because what's my man named the one that said he wanted to box Ti?
Charleston White, man.
Charleston White. Charleston White say all types of wild shit, and we entertain it because we have nothing else to compare Charleston White to. But this is the only Charleston White we know.
Right.
With Kanye,
Right.
we missed the old Kanye, backpack Kanye. Drug dealing just to get by. Stack your money till it gets
Right.
sky
Right.
high.
Exactly.
Boom,
But I
boom.
but
And
I told you.
it all falls down. Like we missed that Kanye. So
Yeah.
now, because which he done stated he's bipolar, whatever. I'm not saying he's having an episode or whatever, and I'm not again for all the smart dummies that's gonna say, well, so you condoning this shit? No, he's a grown man. He gonna say what he want. I can't condone or allow what make choice of what another person says. My thing is, we want to cancel him because he wasn't always this way. But what does it really mean to cancel? Or are we gonna?
That's the
That's all I'm
question.
saying.
That was the question.
Right.
Like you said, you
What
want
does it
that? We
mean?
want that in the comments. What does it really mean? Because, like you said, canceling an event or something like that is
It's
understandable,
over.
right?
It's not going to
It's
happen.
over. Like we were talking about R. Kelly. You ain't got
Right.
to cancel. You ain't got to cancel R. Kelly. He's not going to make it to any of his events.
Right. Oh, come on, P.
Not like that. Not like
Nah, but
that.
see,
Don't listen. But you
we
understand what I'm saying hey, when we say cancel, right, without going into whether you're talking about an urban dictionary
right,
definition or
right.
standard definition, what we saying is to not support something. If you're saying that that's canceling it, you just say
Yeah.
you're not going to support it. I agree
Right.
with you. I think the term was just thrown out there, and everybody was like, "Oh, it's cool.
That
We're gonna
sound
cancel.
dope. We gonna
We're gonna run
cancel
with that. We're gonna
because
cancel culture."
it
Like, what are you talking
flows.
about?
Cancel Kanye, like the kek. Like I understand it's
Yeah,
wordplay.
yeah. But even like any of that stuff, like if it means to not support something, great.
Right.
I said something before. My not problem,
I'm
because
just
I
not.
really
If
don't
I
have a
don't fuck
problem.
with it, I don't fuck with it. I ain't gotta
Right.
announce it.
My thing is this: if you're going to be selective in what you support, you do that to anybody, right?
Anything.
You do that to anybody. I'm just saying, like for instance, you can have a coworker, nice as he want to be, but you got to keep your eyes on him,
Right.
right? You got
Right.
to keep your eyes on him.
right. Right. Right.
You never know what may come out of that, or you may have a situation where you got that homeboy, you know, you around, your lady around, you not around, your homeboy can't be around. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
What you gonna cancel? Now you can cancel that friendship. Nah, bro, you can't. Or you can cancel anytime that I'm not gonna be around, that you around my lady or my family. I can cancel that.
Or you can
But it's a
also
difference.
just tell this nigga, look, excuse my
Uh-oh.
French, don't
Uh-oh.
try me, man.
Okay.
Don't try
And if you
me.
got,
Not that
and if
one.
you have to really do that,
Yeah,
then
should
how
he really
tight
be
are we
around?
here?
No, no,
Should
but
he really
sometimes,
be around?
sometimes people, sometimes, P, you just gotta let them know. Like, I get what you're saying. Sometimes
Yeah.
you don't know a person not supposed to be around till they ain't supposed to be around. If
Right.
that makes sense of what I'm
Right.
saying.
No,
You
it
know what I
makes
mean?
perfect sense. It makes perfect sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
let's just think
Yeah.
about it. Let's think about it. Okay, hindsight's 2020. Kanye, first time on Drink Champs, probably one of the most watched Drink Champs ever. He was taking
Yeah.
shots, saying weird shit about Talib Kweli and Mos Def and
Right.
how he used them and
Right.
all that. That was all
Right.
hip hop. Nori ain't trip on that. But when he came this time and said George Floyd didn't die from the cop, he died from fentanyl.
See what
Now
I'm saying?
Nori like, wait a minute, what happened to my brother? That ain't the dude I know. And the
Hey,
family is suing him, by the way, too. That George Floyd's family is suing him, by the way, for that
right.
statement.
But
Yeah,
but this is why I was saying what I was saying about being selective and what we call genius, right?
right,
Disturbed or whatever. He looked at it, and I'm not in Nori's mind. I'm not in the Drink Champs people mind. But like you said, it was a highly viewed episode,
the
or
first time.
whatever. The first time the show, what you think it's gonna do this time?
Mhm.
Like controversy and those critical moments where things are said that could just be like, oh my gosh, did you hear that? They travel much faster and they are much more in the public view than anything else. Now, like I said, Nori was on Drink Champs like, oh, well, he phone called in, I believe. He was like, oh man.
You mean Nori was on
I mean, not Drink Champs.
Breakfast
I'm
Club?
sorry, my Breakfast Club. He definitely was on Drink Champs, but
Yeah,
Breakfast Club. You know what I mean? Like, and then he did another personal little joint, like I guess he had with his phone or whatever. And it's like, part of you want to almost call him, because if that's your homie, you're gonna say, now what part of you believe that wasn't possible at any time when you was interviewing him?
Well, you know,
Because
bro.
you wanted to believe that part that we claim to be a genius would only be the part that was present. What
But
kind
it's
of
but
real?
it's
That's not
but it's
reality.
but it's never that present. He just see nobody goes that far into the deep end P until they go that far into the deep end. And then
Yeah,
when a
but D,
person goes far into the deep end and they get allowed and they don't get canceled, they're
right,
gonna keep going into the deep
right.
end.
But all right, so let's do this. Let's put Petey in the mix. Can we do that for half a second?
Let's go. Let's go.
Petey.
Let's,
All right.
listen,
So
listen.
Petey.
PD and this guy.
Okay.
Merlin can walk back in too.
Okay. So
Yeah.
let's do this.
Right.
You come around. You're Petey.
I'm
I'm the
Merlin.
dog owner. Right? Okay. Now, not you per se. I'm
That's
just
the
anybody.
best
You're
way.
Merlin.
Switch.
You're Merlin. Bet. You're Merlin. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Right? And you standing there. Petey comes around. You take your your little Killer Cujo dog off the chain. It don't bite. It don't bite, Petey. Right?
Right.
Y'all have a whole
Yeah.
conversation. Your dog just move around. You keep an eye on the dog. The dog is friendly. It don't run up on Petey. It just kind of stays and does its own thing. It makes a little bit of barks, but it's barking at cars going by. It may be
Right.
cats or a squirrel or something.
Right.
At that point, Petey walks away. You walk away. You got your dog. Killer Cujo, go with you, and everything was cool. Now, next time a person shows up, you and Petey standing there again, Killer Cujo there. At this point, Killer Cujo done seen Petey. It's something a little different today, right? Something's a little different with Killer Cujo. Now Killer Cujo want to go off.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't coming after Petey, but he
Killer
barking
Cujo.
and going to the next extreme. The fact that you as Merlin thought that any time that this situation was happening,
Wait a minute. I just went from PD to Merlin.
no, you're not. No, you're Merlin. The fact that you as Merlin didn't respect the fact that at any point in time, Killer Cujo could jump on anybody.
Right.
It's unrealistic thinking, right?
To a certain
It's
extent.
it's unrealistic, because guess what you can trust a dog to be?
A dog. But no, it's
Yes.
real. It's unrealistic thinking. However, we can't speak on that and say that once we go on the other side of fear or dreams on the other side of fear, because you've been around the dog, and the dog hasn't done that.
That's the
So-
support. Right there. Right there. No,
Right.
stay right there.
Yeah.
Stay right,
Right.
there. That's
No,
that's
no,
how
no.
it should be.
Listen. I'm not finished with what I'm saying. Go ahead, say what you about to
Go
say. Go ahead. No,
Go
say.
ahead.
I'm gonna let you. I'm
So
gonna let
the
you
point
finish.
because I wanted to finish with the point that I was making. The point is this. The point is you can suspect or assume anything by one experience that it probably won't happen because it did not happen when the first time.
Right.
That's foolish thinking.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm not. That's not exactly what I'm saying.
No, that's what I said. Now you
I
can say what
yeah,
you were saying. I don't
what
get
I'm
it.
saying, I know that a dog can bite. I know. So my head is always on a swivel. You understand
Right.
what I'm saying? But
Right.
when you're doing something for a different reason, when you compare the dogs and you're walking up and you're having a conversation and you have nothing to gain or lose there, okay, you should always have that train of thought of a dog can bite you in the ass. Let me make that clear. But what I'm saying is, Nori looked at Kanye was just here. I know Kanye could go left, but I don't think he's going to go that left. I think we're going to have another episode, which you still got what you got, but at what cost? You never thought it would be at that cost. And I understand that. So I can tell you one thing. Drink Champs probably canceled Kanye. He probably won't never be back on that show because he done burnt them.
Right.
But my point is, when you talk about canceling something,
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about canceling something because of repetitive nature and actions, right? It's
Right.
not because a person said one thing.
I mean, it could be, but
yeah.
in most cases, it's not. Right.
Nah, it definitely anything's possible. But what I'm saying is, when people start to
Yeah.
talk that cancel talk, because I still don't know what the hell it
Right.
means, because the show goes on, right?
Right. Right.
When people continuously speak that cancel talk, It's because of repetitive things. My thing is this: I'm not telling y'all I know the answers on what to do with it. I'm not even telling y'all not to use the word cancel. I'm just saying say what you mean to mean what you say. That's what I'm saying. So don't one day be on social media, and even though it's freedom of speech, saying you cancel him, and then two months later you sitting there talking about, bitch, that Kanye album dope as hell. His show's still going on then.
That's all I'm saying.
And I ain't trying to stop the brothers' money. I'm just saying. I'm just telling you. So you won't hear me make the statement, man, we got to cancel Kanye because it's a trend and it's a hashtag now.
Yeah, yeah. I don't
Knowing
think that.
that if he drops an album in 2 months, I'm gonna say, let me see what this man album talking about. Because and guess what? We're gonna go listen. You know why? Not because of the genius of music. That's part of it. That's a given. We want to hear what other weird fucking shit he gonna say.
Yeah, that I mean that's there. That element of it, absolutely.
That's
I
that's
won't argue that
that's
situation.
just what it is.
You know what? Before we get any further about canceling stuff, let's talk about if you need to actually plan something. We got a full service, one stop shop, that could take care of all of your event planning needs. Please let them know who they can contact. Look, check it out. Let's get that stress off your plate. All right? Got that big event coming up, and you don't want to have to do all the work. I got a company for you, full service event company that's going to take care of all of your event planning needs. That's www.fncevents.com. A full service event planning company. Take all the stress off your head, kick back and enjoy the party. Once again, that's www.fncevents.com. Head on over there, get that party booked, and get it done. Back to the show. Yeah, man. So, but that's a great concept, y'all. Please leave it in the comments below. What y'all think cancel is? You know what I mean? Whatever you guys feeling this, because like me and E saying, based on the term, if the show is still going on, I don't really know how anybody's canceled.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like we used example with mute R. Kelly. R. Kelly really did get muted. I mean, granted, it was a lot of songs that he wrote that was still on the radio, and I didn't necessarily. And I know he was making money off of that, but I didn't want them to cancel these parts for these because these artists can make their money off of the song. You get what I'm saying? Like that's
Mm-hmm.
helping
Mm-hmm.
their situation. Now, muting R. Kelly also only went to a certain. You wouldn't turn on the radio and hear. This is the remix ignition, hopping fresh out the kitchen, mommy rolling. Like you wouldn't hear it on the radio like that anymore, or anything from him.
Right.
However, if you playing Pandora and it was shuffled, he wouldn't come in. You know what I mean? Type stuff. But if you went into Apple Music or any of these places and Spotify and all this, and you typed in his name, his catalog still came up. So he was
Mm-hmm.
still getting streamed if a person went and actually looked at. You know what I
Right.
mean? But
Right.
I
Now,
get
after, hey, can I ask you about it as a DJ? My
right.
bad for stepping on you. I just want to ask this question while we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
As a DJ, after it happened, did you stop getting requests to play any R. Kelly music?
No. Um,
Did anybody who booked you go to the extreme of saying, "Yo, when you DJ tonight, do me a favor, don't play any R. Kelly music"?
Nobody never said it. However, I didn't until they
Okay,
asked for it.
so that was more a personal choice, right?
Right.
Right. Now that came after. That came after
The
the
situation.
situation with the situation. Before that, it would have been in the rotation, possibly, depending on wherever you was at and what you was doing.
Well, with me, maybe depending where I was, yeah, maybe "Step in the Name of Love" or something like that. I
Okay.
wasn't playing as much as
Right.
I
You wasn't
used
doing
to.
it.
Yeah,
You wasn't doing the best of. But what I'm saying
yeah,
is
yeah.
if you were there in the event called for it or the time,
Right.
whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So before that, now that was a personal adjustment. That because clearly you just answered that no in both cases. No, nobody ever asked you specifically not to play his music. No, nobody ever came and requested that you do play his music.
Right.
Now, that personal choice that you made, it wasn't about you, in my opinion, but you can answer that wait because you're you. Did you not play it because it didn't call for it, or was that you supporting the mute element of what was taking place?
It wasn't me supporting the mute. I could tell you, I didn't play it because of the mute, but it wasn't me supporting the mute. It was me
Okay.
because I'm there to entertain people. And
Right.
I don't want to kill, and that's energy. And I don't want to kill the energy if they're supporting the mute.
Right. So that cancel, if we're just using that terminology as cancel,
Right. That's
that
part of it.
makes sense. And that, but
It
that
wasn't
makes
called
sense
cancel, it was
because
called mute.
right, it was called mute. But it
Hmm.
makes sense because of the other thing, right? That is attached to it.
Right.
You said that because of the energy.
Right.
Now, the point that I want to make in that situation is you were intelligent enough to understand this is going to compromise the energy. As
Right.
a DJ, it is me who controls the energy of this event. I'm the person controlling this energy.
Right.
So you made a logical decision, not an emotional.
Right. Logical.
Most of the time, when people make these terms or make these statements, cancel this or cancel that, it's an emotional decision.
Right.
It's not a logical decision.
It's constantly in their face.
It's in their face, but it's also being made like, all right, so the emotional element, if you turn around, like even when we talk about politics, you turn around and you say, Mom, what are we? And your mother goes, we're Democrats. And you don't ask why we're Democrats. You're just going to be a Democrat because someone told you that,
Yeah, that's an
right?
emotional
So that's
attachment.
that's emotional attachment. So what I'm saying is not trying to define cancel because that's what we're talking about. But you made the decision based on being a professional and knowing that at that moment, the climate of things that were taking place, it was better to protect the energy of the event as a
Hmm.
professional should do.
Hmm.
And so you canceled it in terms of it being in your playlist because not because of an emotional situation, but a logical situation. And I think that that's what happens. We eliminate or we minimize logic, and then
Hmm.
terms become our way of moving. And so all of a sudden, it becomes cool to say cancel this or mute that, even if we can't even explain why we're taking that approach to it.
Right.
I
No,
just
you're
wanted
right,
to
bro.
say that because you had made a statement about the situation about with R. Kelly and muting that and how you can still hear it come across your Pandora thing. Because guess what? Ain't no emotional attachment in that business over there.
Mm. Nah,
See?
because it was muted. Like I said, it just wasn't being played in rotations. And I mean, I'm not sure. Like I said, if it was in Pandora situations, but I'm saying you can go to. If you wanted to go straight to say I want to hear R. Kelly on such and such, he wasn't completely muted because you had control over doing that. And
Right.
that's a streaming service. That wasn't like, that wasn't your actual CDs at home. But it's a lot of people I know who didn't mute him because they knew how to detach the man from the music. You understand what I'm saying? They liked music is an energy and it's a feeling. It doesn't mean because you listening to R. Kelly that you supporting him with his fetish or with his problem. And that's my same thing that I'm even sitting here saying with Kanye.
Very
Kanye
good.
makes statements, but listening to his music doesn't mean that you're supporting or agreeing with what he's saying. So when people start talking this cancel stuff, you know what I mean? It's it's no reason that I'm not saying you can't say what you don't want to say, but if you don't want to listen to him no more, then don't listen to him no more. That's it. But announcing it's just like you can go away from them artists, bro. You know, I remember it was a restaurant locally that I never got to try, and my house has used to get it all the time. And I was having this conversation with my oldest daughter the other day because she made the statement. I mean, I made the statement. I said, "Listen, you ever had that before?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah." Your mom don't like eating there because somebody claimed they found a roach in their food and put it on
Mm-hmm.
social media.
Mm-hmm.
First thing, and that's enough for my wife to say, I'm not eating there no more. And there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Nah, and not at
But
all.
but but my daughter said, man, that roach probably came from their house.
See how she made it make sense? Nisi knew what it was.
It probably
She know how
came
to
from
make it
their
make
house.
sense.
She's like, man, we used to go there all the time when we was kids, man. You know what I mean? They probably listen, man, they probably came from the house, man. You know what I mean? I say I don't know where it came from, but for some people that's enough. And I'm not judging anybody on that side.
Not
But
at
me
all.
personally, if that would have happened to me, I wouldn't blast the people out because they're still in business trying to survive and live.
Right. 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 Right.
So I wouldn't yell cancel this restaurant.
Right.
That's all I'm saying. But
Right.
that's just me. You got a this or that for me, or who, or would you rather?
Yeah, we're gonna get into some would you rather today, brother. Let's do it.
let's. Welcome to another episode of Would You Rather. This is your boy DJ, Mr. Influential, and I'm getting right back to the show. Let's go.
What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Would You Rather, where I ask E a series of questions and eventually I get an answer. He's been doing pretty good, y'all. Have to
Right.
admit, he's been doing pretty good. You know what I mean? The clinic worked out. Listen,
Whoa.
would you rather never get angry or never be envious?
I'm gonna say never get angry. I think a lot of times, we've had an episode called Mad, you know what I mean? But sometimes anger and being envious is an emotion, right? But me being me personally, I don't like when I'm angry because when I'm angry, I'm out of my element and I may mess some things up. It may not necessarily go the way I want it to go, or I might be in something that's a little bit. I put myself in the wrong position. Right. Envy. I want everybody to be successful. So if I'm envying something or somebody, it's just going to make me better.
Right. Using it like fuel. I got
it's fuel. It's not like I gotta end this person. I gotta cancel this person. Like I'm not going to do that.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're absolutely.
But when
right.
I'm angry, I'm usually angry because you did something to somebody, or me, or someone I love. Now I want to smack the spit out of you. I don't like being that way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I got you.
Yeah.
Nah, that makes sense. And I hope you don't have to smack the spit out nobody.
No. I don't really get angry like that. You know what I mean? It takes a lot.
Right. Would you rather be poor but help people, or become incredibly rich by hurting people?
Poor and help people, man. It's crazy to say. I don't want to hurt nobody.
Nah, I don't
want to hurt nobody.
Brother. Sounds pretty humane to me.
Yeah, I don't want to hurt nobody, man.
Nah,
I just said I want everybody to win.
Yeah. Would you rather know the uncomfortable truth or... Oh, okay. All right. Hold on.
Uncomfortable?
Would you rather know the uncomfortable truth of the world or believe a comforting lie?
I never believed the comforting lies. I know listen, I don't know the full uncomfortable truth, but I know they lying to me. So I'd rather go with the uncomfortable truth, man. Because that way I know how to adapt. If you know the uncomfortable truth, then you wouldn't let Baby Cujo bite you in the ass.
Right. Yeah, well,
You know what I mean? Let's clap it up for that.
Right. And you'd respect it.
You respect it.
And you'd make sure you do what you need to do to keep that,
right. This is what I mean. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Would you rather be famous when you are alive and forgotten when you die, or unknown when you are alive but famous after you die?
So you saying be famous when you're alive, but when you pass,
when you
pass, it's over.
Right. You're just forgotten about. You're nothing.
Yeah, I like
whatever.
the other way around. I like to be unknown and then famous, because truth of the matter is, our purpose is to do something in life that's going to leave our mark. So when we're gone, that mark is still set. That example is still there. Hence the words of being Mr. Influential. You want to be an influence. Gotcha. So if I can only influence while I'm here, and when I go, like Dr. Martin Luther King, his legacy lived on much longer than he lived.
No, you're absolutely right.
He died at 39. Malcolm X. These guys' legacies live longer than what they actually lived. See what I'm saying?
Good point.
That's the reason for purpose. That should be your reason for purpose anyway.
Right. I had a quote about that too. But would you rather live your entire life in a virtual reality where all your wishes are granted, or just in the normal real world?
Normal real world. And the virtual reality and all that, you might wake up one day, your eye this big because it's virtual reality.
Dang, you might skeet-oed.
Baby right? Ruth? Like, you be sitting there looking like my man from the Goonies, man. You know what I mean? Like this.
All right. Gone. Out of there. I got you. All right. Would you rather work very hard at a rewarding job or hardly have to work at a job that isn't rewarding?
What's the reward?
Well, I mean, I guess rewarding in the sense that, not just monetarily, but, you know, all the other things that come in it. You're passionate about it, you enjoy it,
Oh,
you're
if I gotta
excited
work
about doing
hard,
it.
if I gotta work hard and it's rewarding, I don't. It's rewarding. It doesn't matter. That hard work is not an issue.
Okay. So that's the one. So you would take
Yeah,
rather work hard. Yeah.
yeah,
It's more rewarding. It got you. It got you. It'll cover more area. I got you.
yeah, yeah.
Would you rather have a criminal justice system that actually works and is fair or an administrative branch that is free of corruption?
Mm. Mm-mm. I don't even want to answer that. Scared.
You're scared, right?
Yeah,
You might get canceled, right?
yeah.
We can go ahead and use a skip card on that joint.
Yeah, skip. Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
write them.
I'm gonna take I'm gonna take a shot of water. Take a shot of water on that one.
For those who watching, I don't write them. I just read them.
Right.
Would you rather have real political power but be relatively poor, or be ridiculously rich and have no political power?
I don't have no political power, so give me the money.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? You know what I'm saying? Um,
You got one
you
more
know,
for me?
I'll give you one more. I'm gonna give you one more. I want to try to give you one that's not so political, but okay. No, I'm not touching that one. Okay, here we go. One built on money. Last one. Would you rather inherit $20 million when you turn 18, or spend the time earning $50 million through your hard work?
How old do I see the 50?
So it doesn't go into detail of that, but let's just say that one seems to be guaranteed, right? You're going to inherit it, 20
Right.
million at 18.
Yeah.
Where the other one, requires you, the time earning $50 million through your hard work. So one is definitely going to happen. You turn 18 years old, you inherit it. The other one is going to require, will be based on your effort. So I
18
guess,
with 20 million. You can give me that.
okay,
Give me that.
right. You know what I mean?
Not just because
I
it's
don't know the other part though.
right. It's not just because it's guaranteed. Because if I know I'm getting this at 18, I'm going to start researching on how I could turn it into 50 by the time I'm 22.
So because the money's guaranteed, then
Right.
the money is guaranteed. But I understand
Right.
what you're saying. The success of the money isn't.
Right.
Right. Nah, I got you.
So,
Now that question would have been a little bit different if they would have turned around and said, you would have that by the time you were 50, right? So that's 32 years difference between 18, 20 million guaranteed and making 50 million, over a 32, let's just say starting from 18 to 32-year period. I still believe, like you said, if you know that you're going to inherit $20 million, to be completely honest, you're probably in a situation where you got a family that understands money. So if you're going to inherit this 20 million, you're probably going to have somebody accessible to you that can tell you how to take that 20 and make it 40 by the time you're 36.
mm-hmm.
So I agree with you. I would want the
Right.
money, but I also would want somebody who was access to somebody who's intelligent on how to make money move. That's it for me this week with that, brother.
All right. This has been another episode of Would You Rather. Thanks for continuing to watch into the Porch Podcast. Let's get back to the show. All right, let's go. That's how they do in the car commercials. But before we bunk up out of here, man, I just want to thank y'all for watching 96 straight episodes with us. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And of course, you can catch us on all your streaming podcasts like Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Radio Public, Red Circle,
Amazon Music,
Music,
Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, I think we said both of them. Audible, that's the one I was looking for.
Audible.
Yeah,
And if we said Red Circle, and if we said it twice, that means it's still gonna be there.
Twice as nice. Yeah,
Twice as nice. Exactly.
And of
And where
course,
can they catch us if they want to see us? See,
they want to see our handsome faces. You can see us on YouTube. All shows are on your audio sites Thursdays at 8 by 8 a.m. and all visuals premiere every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Okay, on YouTube. So that's all I got, man. P, you got something to say before we go and close out?
hey man, once again, leave in the comments, y'all, what y'all think cancel mean, man. just trying to get a little bit of clarity. And like I said, at the end of the day, you got your own opinion. We love to hear read the comments and all those different things. Like he said, we appreciate you guys chiming in each and every week. Once again, I want to say thank you guys for who've been supporting the additional channels. Those who have been checking out the content on our direct social media pages as well. Um, keep on liking, keep on supporting. Please keep on subscribing. Hey, man, it's been a great episode. Look forward to seeing y'all next week. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate y'all. Peace,
All right.
man.
Peace.